Hello everyone, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for latest update. So friends, today I am going to explain TechMahindra Java entry question. So the first question is, what are the Woops concept available in Java? So there are majorly 4 Woops concept available in Java. So one is the inheritance, second one is the polymorphism, third one is the encapsulation, and fourth one is the abstraction. Coming to the inheritance. Inheritance is a mechanism of acquiring the properties and methods from parent class to child class is nothing but a inheritance. So in Java, there are 5 types of inheritance are there. One is the single level inheritance, another one is the multi-level inheritance, third one is the multiple inheritance, and fourth one is the hierarchical inheritance, and fifth one is the hybrid inheritance. Now coming to the polymorphism. Polymorphism means one name, many forms. That means many functions exist with the same name, but their implementation is different from one class to another class. So there are 2 types of polymorphism in Java. One is the compile time polymorphism, another one is the runtime polymorphism. Compile time polymorphism means the methods are binding with an object at compile time is nothing but a compile time polymorphism. The best example is method overloading. So coming to the runtime polymorphism means methods are binding with an object at runtime is nothing but a runtime polymorphism. Best example is method overriding. Now coming to the encapsulation. Encapsulation means it is a mechanism of wrapping the variables and methods into a single unit is nothing but a encapsulation. For example, if you see the Java bean class, here we can declare our variables as a private variables and we can generate a public getters and setter methods. So coming to the abstraction, abstraction is the process of hiding the internal implementation details from the user and providing only the necessary functional to the user is nothing but a abstraction. We can achieve the abstraction in Java in 2 different ways. So one is the interfaces and another one is the abstract classes. Now coming to the second question, what is difference between comparable and comparator? Comparable can sort the data according to the natural sorting order. Comparator sort the data according to the customized sorting order. Suppose if you want to sort the data in a natural sorting order, then we can go for the comparable. If you want to sort the data based on custom sorting, you can go for the comparator interface. Comparable affect the original class, the actual class is modified. That means if you use the comparable, the original class will be modified. That means it can affect the original class. But in case of comparator, it does not affect the original class. The actual class is not modified. So comparable provides a compare-to method to sort the elements, but in case of comparator provides a compare method to sort the element. Comparable is present in a java.lang package. Comparator is present in a java.utility package. Comparable provides a single sorting sequence. Comparator provides a multiple sorting sequence. Now coming to the third question. Can we override a static method? The answer is no, we cannot override the static method because method overriding is based on a dynamic binding at runtime and the static methods are binding using the static binding at compile time. So we cannot override the static method. Now coming to the fourth question, what is the qualifier annotation in Spring? The qualifier annotation in Spring is used to differentiate a bean among the same type of bean objects. So if you have more than one bean of the same type, and we want to vary only one of them, then we can use the qualifier annotation along with auto vary annotation. That means suppose in your class you have a multiple beans of same type. If you want to differentiate from one bean to another bean, then you can use the qualifier annotation. So what is the auto configuration annotation in Springboot? The Springboot auto configuration automatically configures Spring application based on the dependent present on the class path. Springboot detect the classes in the class path and auto configuration mechanism will ensure to create the beans and weights necessary beans. This is one of the most powerful feature in Springboot. The most of the work happen in the background. That means so if you use the auto configuration, so automatically it will inject the beans and configure all the related beans and it will link one bean to another bean. So sixth question is, what is different between hash map and tree map? Hash map is the hash table based implementation of map interface, but in case of tree map is the tree structure based implementation of map interface. Hash map implements the map interface, clonable and serializable interface, but in case of tree map implement the navigable map, clonable and serializable interface. Hash map allows a single null key and multiple null values, but in case of tree map does not allow null key but can have multiple null values. Hash map class is use the hash table mechanism. So tree map internally use the red block tree, which is the self-balanced binary searching tree. So hash map does not maintain any order, but in case of a tree map, it sort the data in a natural order. That means it is a ascending order. So what is the marker interface in Java? Marker interface in Java, which is a empty interface. That means it does not contain any methods or fields. It is also known as a taggle interface, and it is used to indicate or inform the JVM that if any class implement this marker interface, it will have a some specific behavior. For example, if you implement the serializable interface, our class is travel from one layer to another layer easily. Like it's a clonable also is one of the example of marker interface. Remove to interface also is one of the example of marker interface. So what happened without overriding hash code method if you override the equals method? So generally in the like Java, as per Java rules, so we have to override equals method with the hash code method. But in our case, so the question is what happened without overriding hash code method if you override the equals method? So overriding the equals method without overriding hash code cause the two equal instance to have a equivalent hash code. Suppose if you not to override the hash code method, sometimes two objects having the same hash code, that it will getting the confusion to store the object into the hash table. So that time the equals method will call and it will find out the content of the string, it will compare. Which violate the hash code contract mentioned in the Java document. That means in Java document there is a contract between equals method and the hash code method. So whenever we are overriding the equals method, we have to override the hash code method also. It clearly says if two objects having the equal according to the equal method, then calling the hash code method on each of two object must produce the same integer values. Suppose whenever the two objects having the same data, like if you use the equals method, compare the content of the string. So whenever the two strings are having the same hash code, same string, that time we have to call the hash code method to like to differentiate the hash code of the each object. But in our case, we are not overriding the hash code method, so it violates the rules. So must and said we have to override the equal hash code method also. So example in subclass overriding method declares a parent class. What is the output? So here they are mentioning like they are asking this question. So here they are taking one parent class and one message method. So here they are printing the like parent method system.out.println. They are printing something. So and also they are giving child class and it is extending the parent class. So here the child class method implementation they are writing. So in the main method like through parent class child class object they are creating p dot message. So here the question is like which class message method will be called. So if you see here like in the parent class we have a message method is there. So in the child class also message method is there. So here we are creating the parent through parent class we are creating the child class object, we are calling the message method. But in our case if you see the output is child method. So control first coming to the child class and it will check either the message method is available in the child class or not. If it is available, it will be executing, otherwise it will go to the parent class. But in our case we have a child class having the message method, so that's why it is calling the child method. So now 10th question is what are the HTTP methods and that can be used with the RESTful web service. So in RESTful web service, there are 5 HTTP methods are available. One is the get, post, put, delete, and patch. So get is used to get the data from the like database or resource. So here if you see, get is used to get the or read the resources. But in a post is used to create the new resource. If you want to insert the data into database, then we can use the post method. So put is used to update the existing record. Suppose if you want to update the record, then we can use the put method. So coming to the delete is used to delete the resource from the database or something. So patch is used to apply the partial modification to the resource. If you want to apply partial modification, then you can use the patch method. So now coming to the 11th question, what is the return meaning of the static code 401? So what is the meaning of the 401 in a REST API? So if you see the 401, if you coming any error like 401, so it is the error code unauthorized. So suppose if you are getting 401 error code, it is nothing but a unauthorized. So what is the default scope in Spring? So singleton is the default scope in Spring. If you see in Spring, we have 5 scopes are there: singleton, prototype, request, session, global session, but the default scope is singleton. Like disable a console log in Springboot. So how we can disable the console log in Springboot? Like there are the two ways. One is the application.properties file, spring.main.banner hyphen mode we can off, we mention. Otherwise logging.pattern.console we can empty if you not assign anything, so it will disable. So in the application.yaml file we can write like this: spring main banner mode we can off here. If you use like logging pattern console, we can empty it is initializing. So how to disable the auto configuration class? So if you find any specific auto config class are being applied to that you do not want, you can use the exclude attribute in a @enable auto configuration annotation to disable them. Suppose if you want to disable any class you don't want to load, then just we can use the exclude with enable auto configuration annotation. Like here we have to mention the class which you want to exclude. So this is the example. Like here also they are telling like in the class path whichever the class here we are declaring, it is not loading, it's excluding from the class path. So the final question is Java program for counting the duplicate characters and print the number of times a character is repeating. So here this is the program. Here they have a main method. So for example, I am taking the string as a India. So if you see here, like output should be I is repeating 2 times, N is repeating 1 time, D is repeating 1 time, A is repeating 1 time. Like here we are converting the string into the character array. So here we are converting the character array. Here we are creating the map object, hash map object. So here in the for each loop we are just iterating. So this character array here we are iterating. So after iterating, so in this we are using if loop. In the if block we are map that contains key of C. So for each and every character it will check it is available in the map or not. If it is available, like it will be it add into the map. Like put method is used to put the like we add the data into the map. Like we can add the character, and here like it will be getting the count of the character. If it is not available in the map, like it will be putting into the same into the map, and the count should be 1. Like here we are using the for each loop and we are iterating the map object. So here we are creating the map.entry colon map.entry set. So here we are iterating in the system.out.println entry.get key means it will get the character, and count is the entry.get value. So how many times it is coming, it will get the value. So if you see here the output, I is repeating 2 times, N is repeating 1 time, D is repeating 1 time, A is repeating 1 time. So totally it is the program for counting the duplicate characters and printing the how many times a duplicate character is repeating. So friends, don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching this video.